y'all, it's Whitney, and welcome back to another episode of Spastic Chatter. If you're new here, Spastic Chatter is a platform meant to feature those in the cerebral palsy community, and I get together with individuals with CP, like myself, to have an uncensored chat, if you will, about what it's like living with this type of disability. And for this episode, I'm joined by Dash, and he is a fashion stylist. And I will let Dash introduce himself and then we will get on to the conversation. So take it away, Dash.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dimitri Armstrong, aka Dash Armstrong. I have cerebral palsy. I have hemiplegia. I'm a wardrobe stylist. I've been styling since the age of 18, so that's probably like, I don't know, a long time. I worked on magazine covers. I worked with celebrities. I did TV shows, movies. So I did a little bit of everything in wardrobe styling.
So sorry, I got I got the name wrong. It's wardrobe styling instead of fashion stylist. I did.
It could be both. It could be either one.
Okay. Okay. I was just that was just a joke on my part, but I'm curious, what got you started in that line of work?
Um, it was funny because I got in it based off of bullying. I was getting bullied just normally based off of my walk, my talk, the way my hand laid, because my cerebral palsy affected my left side. So I would limp or I was standing on my tippy toes and so I was getting picked for that. And then one day somebody asked me to be in a fashion show, and I was like, not really. Like that's not my thing. I ended up doing it. It was like a big confident booster. But I always was like more intrigued by the fashion part, the clothing part. So I was like, how can I find a way to get into this? I didn't know what it was called back then, so I thought it was fashion designer. So I became like a fashion designer and I started designing things. And I was like, no, I don't like this either. Then I found out that it was fashion styling or wardrobe styling. And from there, I just like was like, this is what I want to do.
That's awesome. So did you go to like a school for it and everything?
Yeah, I did go to school for it, but I did not graduate. Like at the time, my professor kept saying like, "Oh, if you want to be in fashion, you need to go to New York." So I ended up on TV. It was this show that was popular at the time, 106 in Park. And I was like, I want to do what they was doing. So I ended up like emailing the head stylist of the show, and she ended up getting me a job. And then I went on this crazy interview for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week, and I ended up booking an internship. So I was like, wait, I'm already in the fashion world. So I was like, I'm gonna drop out of college and then focus on just like my internship and at Mercedes-Benz and with this fashion company.
That's awesome. So you reached out to one of the
Mhm.
one of the people on your favorite show, and then she got you a job.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes.
So that goes to show, like if you want to do something, essentially all you have to do is reach out. You never know what's gonna happen. That that's awesome.
Definitely.
So
You just gotta take that leap of faith.
yeah, so I'm curious what your process is when you meet somebody for your styling. Like, say that I'm this well, I don't know if you style regular, like if you just do celebrities
Hmm.
now, like, or but like walk me through your process
I
when you
do a little.
walk me through. I could say I came to you for wardrobe styling. What would be the first? Like, walk me through your process if that makes sense.
Okay. So when I first started working with see like what they wear on a daily basis, and then I email the client and then just kind of send them like a little questionnaire, like what things don't you like? What do you feel most comfortable in? Um, who's your favorite designer? What store do you like to shop So I kind of like create this question where a list and then I can.
I think you're lagging just a little bit.
Oh, I think my Wi-Fi is like going in.
Here, you back?
Hello, is it still lagging?
No, you're good right
Yeah,
now.
is it okay now? Okay, I
But
think it's
you're
gonna be on and
lagging.
off for some reason.
Your video is lagging, but your voice and stuff is good. But this is
Okay.
but we're just gonna roll with it. So you said that you first contact your client and ask what kind of like what they like to wear, what designers they like, things like that.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
then you eventually meet with them and like size and everything, I'm guessing.
Hmm. Yeah, because we can still do that all on just email. It depends if the client would like to meet, or sometimes the client don't like to meet until the date of the shoot. So what we do in that process is just like back and forth emails, or just like sending pictures of like what I found or what fits their body type. And once we go to set, do like a fitting where we test everything out before the shoot. Or even if we're doing like me just like for a regular day, we would test it out or go to the store and do fittings and stuff like that. It just all depends.
That's awesome. So I'm curious, you having cerebral palsy and everything, have you done like adaptive like clothing? Have you styled using adaptive clothing?
So interesting enough, I
Really?
never ever styled before, like no, which is surprising to me because I never been like until you like told me recently, and then I was like, wait, because I would just like always like find a way, like if the outfit didn't work with my to make it fit, and then like I went this deep dive, and then I was like, wait, oh my God, it's so many great brands.
Yeah, I like to try out the different brands, but to be honest, they're usually not like they're usually way too expensive, and
Hmm.
they usually don't work the way that like I need them to. You
Like they say
know what I
you do.
mean? Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So
Yeah. I seen this one brand, it's called Jam the Label. I don't know if you ever heard of them. It's they have to be a magnetic button. Have you ever tried those?
yes, I was sent a shirt with magnetic buttons, and the magnetic buttons are awesome. But like when it comes to like jeans and stuff, like the adaptive jeans, they don't work with me the way that because I have quad CP, so I like my whole body is affected. Like then like pulling up the adaptive jeans, I found that I can't find adaptive jeans that work. So you know what I do? You're gonna
Mm.
laugh. I just buy maternity jeans because
Hey,
they
you
don't have
found a solution.
yeah, because they don't have a button or like they don't have a loop and pull. So you or they don't have a zipper. So that's what I use is I just do maternity jeans. But
That's smart. That's smart.
so now if you ever style somebody that's disabled and you can't find jeans, just think about maternity jeans. Oh, I think.
Right, right. And then I gotta credit you under assistant stylist.
Yeah, no. So, so who's your who's your one of your most favorite people that you've ever styled
It
on the
would
spot?
be it would have to be my current work with now.
Oh, you're
Um,
lagging.
she
Stay,
she's
you're lagging again.
she
Um,
think it's just gonna be a little darker.
it's all good. It's about the same. It's about the same. So what I asked you about your favorite client that you've styled, right? What's
Yes.
your answer for that?
And I would have to say is my current client right now. Her name is Harriet DeVal, and she's on the hit show P Valley. And I love working with her because her spirit is just so uplifting. When she comes onto set, she's very humble, very nice, sweet spirit. It's just like an amazing time working with her, and we have a great time on set.
That's awesome. So shout out to Harriet from P Valley.
Yes.
Yes. So how do you usually get, I think I might have already asked this, but I can't remember. But how do you usually get your clients to do they reach out to you or do you reach out to them? How does that work?
Well, sometimes they do reach out to me, and then other times I reach out to them. It can be through email, a DM, or just from like just networking and stuff like that. So it can go either way. But usually I contact the client and say, "Hello, I love your work on this show," or "I love your music, and I would love to work with you."
And does that usually work? Do they usually like
It sometimes do work. I think
it's something?
50% works. And then sometimes you get left on red, but it's okay. It's the game of the fashion industry. Sometimes you just gotta shoot your shot and then just go for it.
Yeah. So what are some of your since you're a wardrobe stylist, what are some of your favorite brands?
Some of my favorite brands. I love it's cra it's crazy because people are gonna kill me because I don't really have like a favorite brand. Like I just love fashion in general. I know people hate fast fashion, but I'm kind of a little obsessed because it's affordable. I feel like I like Shein. I like Shein.
Yeah, I couldn't. With Shein, the way that my hand grips and the way that I
Mhm.
have to pull so hard to get everything like up, the material it was like
Yeah.
to be honest, it ripped. It didn't hold. It wouldn't hold my steady like it wouldn't hold my firm grip or anything like that.
Mhm.
So I guess that's just fast fashion for you.
Yeah, and that's the thing that is fast fashion for you. And that's the thing I was gonna say, like you gotta be kind of mindful when you do shop fast fashion because the material is always the biggest call out because sometimes the material is of course is not gonna be up to standards. But I just been obsessed with wide leg jeans that fit me comfortably. I'm 6'3", so I never really find like a good long wide leg pants. And for some reason they have great wide leg jeans. So I've been obsessed I've been obsessed with them for a minute now. So I've been ordering all my jeans from Shein. Another brand that I love currently would be I love Zara. I love Urban Outfitters. I love PacSun. Um, I kind of like love all fashion brands. I don't really shop too much luxury fashion because I'm on a 9 to 5 budget. So
Yeah, I was about to say you're naming all these affordable
yeah,
brands,
I'm
and
an affordable stylist.
yes, and you're out here working with like some name brand people. I
Yeah.
with affordable
Now when it's
brands.
with a client, you can go a little above you can go a little above your means and try, Christian Siriano and brands like Alexis Batar and like stuff like that. Now, when I'm working with a client, I love to go upscale. So I guess that would be a couple of brands that I love is Alexis Batar, Christian Steriano, who else? It's like so many Telfar, those like brands that I admire.
That's awesome. So when you're, and I'm just curious, and when you're doing a wardrobe stylist on like a on like a shoot or something, and something goes wrong, do you always have like your go like say like a button slips or something? Is do you have your go-to like hacks for like if something goes wrong or something? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Yes, I always have hacks. We have usually most stylists have like a styling kit, so it has like lint rollers, clips, safety pins, needle and thread, hot glue gun. So anything that you might think of you need in your kit. And it depends on what type of gig you're doing. If you're doing an editorial, you have a little smaller kit. If you're doing like more of a commercial or a 3-day shoot, you have like a little bigger kit to just have like a little bit more stuff just in case of emergencies. So for example, most of the time garments don't fit on the model, like clothing. They usually are too big, too small. So what you have to do sometimes is rig the dress. And it could be either rigging the dress by taking two safety pins. If the dress, so say for example, if the dress is too small, you would take two safety pins, one right here, and then one on the other hand, and then you would have like a string, and then you would tie the string to the safety pin so it can stay on the model and it can fit. And
Mhm.
then if it's too big, you would have your clamps or your clips, and then you would kind of roll it up in the back or tuck it in the back, and then you would clamp it in the back, and then it would make the model look like she's was made for the dress.
That's awesome.
Mhm.
So have you ever, and yeah, I think I've already asked this kind of, but have you ever styled anyone that's like sitting down in a wheelchair or anything like that? Like
No, I haven't, but I would love the opportunity to.
it's a whole different ball game. Because everything that looks good standing is like it's like a whole different ball game when you're sitting down when you're constantly sitting down because it doesn't look clothes don't look the same when you're sitting down versus when you're standing. So I was just curious, like if you
Yeah. Yeah, I think for that, I have been like trained under that. Excuse me. I have been trained under that with my mentor. She actually showed me different things to work with everybody. Like, and that's what I love about fashion is just like learning and always keeping your mind open to just new things and learning things. So I do know how to style someone in a wheelchair. So if anyone in a wheelchair is looking or listening, I'm here for you. Any advice I will be love to give.
now that, so now that we have now that we've met and then everything whenever I have a question about wardrobe or anything, I'm just gonna shoot you a DM,
Yes, yes,
take take
please,
take
please.
some pictures and just shoot you a DM. Um, you know you know what I've noticed kind of works for me because I sit is so there's not a lot of material is buying cropped shirts always works for me because it fits like a regular shirt when you're sitting down, right? Like when you're so when you're like when you're standing, like your stomach shows and everything, but
Right,
sitting like I do like 24/7, it fits a lot better and there's not enough or there's not like all these extra fabric.
exactly.
And yes. And I'm, how do you, and I'm just thinking about questions.
Mhm.
Like, I usually size up when I'm like buying clothes and stuff because I need it to be uh easy to put on and things like
Mhm.
that. Do you ever like uh, I'm curious if there's like some hacks where I could buy clothes that fit me, but so I don't have to size up so much. Like I'm
Have you
putting you
ever
on the
thought
spot.
Have you ever thought about, okay, so say if you do size up for a better fit and more accessibility, have you ever thought about it may be a little expensive, but getting it tailored to fit? So say, for example, you bought one size up and you kind of like the size that is up, but you kind of want to fix the collar or fix the sleeves. You can always just take it to a tailor, which is a little bit more pricey, but I feel like in the long run, it might help out because at the end of the day, it would just be a perfect fit.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, when it comes to like pants and stuff, I wear my size is like a medium, like a small to a medium, but I get
Mhm.
a large because that way it's easy for me to pull up and down. But the large, like it's easy in the waist and the butt to like pull up, but the legs have so much material. The legs and the crotch
Right,
have so much more material because it's a size that's like almost way too big for me. So
right.
yeah,
And yeah, and that's again, I think would be like a great, situation for a tailor because say like if you have your favorite top five jeans and you go to the tailor and say, I want to keep the waist kind of similar, but I want it a little bit tighter, but I want, the crotch part a little bit taken in so I can have less material. And then if you think about it, they might charge you, I'm not sure, maybe like $40 to $50, but in the long run, you won't never have to worry about like having loose pants or anything like that. And then they can just be your go-to because once you put it on, it's already gonna be the perfect fit. It's always gonna fit your legs right. And it's just gonna be like bada boom, bada bing.
yeah. Never. Have you ever have you ever styled somebody in Tommy Hilfiger?
No.
Because Tommy Hilfiger has an adaptive gene
They do.
the like it's one of the adaptive genes that actually semi kind of work for me.
Hmm.
Like, so I was just curious about the if you ever saw somebody with and Tommy Hilfiger. Um, let's see. Is there anything that that I haven't touched on that you'd like to talk about? Because I'm not too versed in fashion style and wardrobe styling.
I know a lot of people always wonder like if it's a difference with having a disability, like just being in the fashion field.
Yeah, yeah,
And how is that? I so far I never had an issue brought to my attention, but it's always with just dealing with myself. I feel like I always just like are it's very hard on myself to keep appearance or to I don't know how to say it or to kind of I don't know. I hold myself to a higher standard. Like, oh, fix your posture, or make sure you're walking straight, or make sure your arm is okay. And I feel like that would be my biggest thing is just like working in an industry filled of people just like tall, slender, perfect, and you're like,
yeah.
okay, how can I be perfect? How can I be better? Or how can I do it? And I had to stop beating myself up like that because I would do it like constantly. I go into fashion week, go into fashion events, go into other networking events, and I would just like beat myself up constantly. And I just have to tell myself like you have to embrace who you are and you have to live in your truth and just like shine as bright as you know how to.
That's awesome. So like so you said your CP is like is it pretty pronounced like when you're like walking in? Because like right now I wouldn't know that you have I wouldn't
Hmm.
know that you have CP. Does that make sense? Well,
Yeah.
like when you're with the client, can like you said when you're walking, you can tell like your posture and everything.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's very noticeable, but I feel like it depends on like exactly what I'm doing. Like for example, my left side, if I have an assistant on set, like I usually need help with just like pitting on chains on certain situations because like I can't like if I was like how my hand is now, the left hand, I'm like trying to really put it together and sometimes my left hand is just not, capable of, just pitting a cast
So
class the necklace.
you're just hyper. What I'm getting at is you're just hyper aware of of your disability, and
Yes,
you don't want it to come across like as come across your client as like as like something that you like can't like do or whatever. Does that make
exactly.
sense? Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, that is exactly what it is. I don't want to because I feel like when you tell somebody you have CP, it becomes a whole different scenario. And I feel like they switch you from professional to they feel sad for me. And I'm like, no, I'm embracing my CP and I'm living in my truth. And I don't want nobody to feel like, oh.
Exactly.
Like I feel like that's one of my biggest thing because people always like, oh, why don't you embrace CP? I embrace it every day because I live with it every day. But I don't like yelling it to the world because I feel like people go from treating you like a human to something different and I don't like that.
Yeah, and like for me, I can't hide it. Like I talk in my face. Like I cannot tell you how many times when I go on TikTok, my videos and TikTok because I have a presence in social media. Everybody, if I go live on TikTok, everybody asks me why I'm crying, and I feel like I've gotten to the point where I don't even like want to like keep saying it. I'm like, bro, I'm not crying. You can if you listen to me talk, you can tell I'm not sad. Like I'm making jokes. Like
Mhm.
I'm not sad. And then when I point it out, they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry for asking. Now I feel bad." Well, it's just a catch 22. Like, so like I kind of feel you on that one. But we just hit the 10-minute mark, and the last
Okay,
question,
really?
yeah, the last question I asked my guests is if they have any advice for those watching. So, do you have any advice? It could be any like anything to do with fashion, any like general life advice.
Yeah. So I do have advice. For me, my advice was that took me a long time to realize and really do is live in your truth, be you, be your greatest self. Don't ever stop. Don't ever let anybody say you can't do anything. We are capable to do whatever we want if we put our mind to it. It may be a little harder, it may be a little difficult, it may be a little bit more longer than others, but we can do it and we can achieve it and we can prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, I think you're the epitome of that because because
Thank you.
all you have to do is reach out to your
Yes.
favorite actors, and that basically jump-started your career. It's like like you didn't even have to finish your college degree, so like
Yes, you don't.
but Dash, I had a really good time talking with you despite the internet difficulties.
Yes, sorry about
No, it's all good. And if you're watching this and you want to be on an episode of Spastic Chatter, just reach out wherever you see this video, and I'd love to have anyone and everyone.
Yes.
So,
And thank you so much for having me on. I truly appreciate it. What you're doing is so amazing. So thank you again.
awesome. We'll check back for another episode, and I will talk to everyone later. Bye.
Bye.